What is going on, Cubs fam? We are back for another Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes video. Galactic Legends are all of the talk once again, like it or not. We've got 2 new Galactic Legends coming to the holotables. We have the first 5 sets of 5 character requirements for both Galactic Legends, and CG has shown us in game that we have 9 more units coming for both characters. What are those 9 units going to be, and who should you start panic farming right now? I have got the legendary HYNSEY to talk about it. What's going on, HYNSEY?
Cubs fam, how are you guys? Hope you're all well. We're back into Galactic Legend territory again, man. I thought we were going to get a little bit more of a break, I'm not going to lie. But yeah, they've snuck these out on us pretty hard and fast. So here we go again.
Here we go again. It is what it is. So here's how this is going to work. I have got the first round of requirements for Luke right here. And we have got a list here. We're going to go through and talk through which characters are most likely. And as we talk about them, we'll talk about which ones you guys were very confident on. Some of these, it's hard to know for sure, but I think there's a few characters in here, HYNSEY, wouldn't you say, that we could just safely say, you know, if you're ready on everything else, go ahead and start farming these guys.
Like everything with CG Cubs, it's always subject to change. This list is no different. Let's be honest. There are some definite ones that are no-brainers. Absolutely. There are going to be some that, you know what, there's a probable chance that makes sense, but whether they're in the final list or not, obviously time will tell. But yeah, don't treat this as a final list locked and loaded. There may be some changes, but this is the best that we've got with the information we've got at the moment.
As Top Cash would say.
Here we go. Oh, Cashy's back out.
It's subject to change, okay? It's subject to change, all right? Money, time.
Yeah, my bank balance is subject to change now as well, but that's a whole different story.
Yes.
We'll talk about that another time for sure.
That is our aim. All right, let's get into the first round of requirements here that we think is going to be coming next. So we got a round of, 4 first. So we'll talk about 4 characters here for Luke. Now, here's the first one. I'm just going to go ahead and put Commander Luke in here. But what I really mean is Jedi Luke. Because this is just me. I find it extremely likely that Jedi Luke is required for this because he's a new character, and it's Luke. It's the last version of Luke before, you know, the last iteration before, you know, we see the Jedi Master Luke. So I would be shocked if Jedi Luke was not part of that.
Yeah, again, certainly a character that makes a lot of sense, whether you like it or not, and there's going to be a lot of people that are a little bit butthurt about this as our first cab off the rank, I'm not going to lie. But Jedi Luke makes sense in this list, certainly. Love it or hate it. I do believe that he will probably be on the list. It would be quite surprising if he's not. He's still obviously a paywall character to an extent. You can farm him, with relatively ease in comparison to farming these Galactic Legends overall, but yeah, it's certainly a stumbling block that is going to make it quite a bit difficult for a few people to get, so it makes sense.
If you're a Luke fan, you've probably been farming for Jedi Luke anyway, and so there's a good chance that you will be there, but if not, then yeah, that would be a tough pill to swallow. I'm not sure I can endorse it, although I will have, on a personal level, I'm going to have Jedi Luke here. I've got all the requirements, so I would be okay, but yeah, I don't know how the community would feel about that. Speaking of Luke, our next one is Farm Boy.
Yeah, Farm Boy. Obviously, that makes sense.
Farm Boy Luke.
Yep. That's take that to the bank. Relic 7 all the way. That's going to be like Jedi Training Ray, or obviously Kylo Ren as well, unmasked. Relic 7 all the way. Yep. That's your base character. That's a definite. Certainly, it's going to be needed. So get on to Farm Boy.
HYNSEY, I just want to point out something. The magic of this requirement here. The magic is look at how Cubs fan Han has him at gear 9.
Yeah, I know. I'll leave you with that, man. Luke Harder, bro. There's no other word for it. It's pretty simple, but yeah, no, you've got him at 9. Look, this is the thing. He's a character that really there's a few people that have him maxed out. There's not that many. It's a character that CG will want people to invest in Certainly, because not a lot of people have him. If you've had him, you've probably moved on to other farms. You've moved on to other projects that are obviously more meta-defining than Farm Boy is. It's been a long time since I've dusted him off myself. So that's certainly something that a lot of people are going to need to farm hard for. So it makes sense.
I'm gonna give this a high likelihood. If you're looking to farm and get ready, this is one that I find almost inevitably gonna end up on the list. Here's another group. We'll reveal these two at once. The legendary Wigs.
Yep, Wigs combo. Again, would not be surprised with these guys. At least having these guys to farm for Jedi Luke, at least they're pilots as well.
Yeah.
They're certainly usable. We know that they're usable. You're farming Wedge anyway for Jedi Luke,
right.
for the Jedi Luke unlock. So that's certainly something that again does make a bit of sense, definitely. So yeah, expect the Wigs boys back in your lineup, and you'll be farming them on your favorites list.
Yep. All right, so there's your first group. That's I would be predicting the next group of 4 would probably involve some of these characters. Let's get into the last group of 5, HYNSEY. Now this one, I've got a bit of a pipe dream here, and I'm gonna give you a pair of characters here. First one is OG Leia, and the next one is OG Han. What do you think?
Okay, well, Leia to me, obviously we know how much Leia and Luke love each other. We know that, guys. We've seen the movies. We know how that goes down.
Sister combo, they're so comfortable they'll even kiss.
They are that close, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So Leia is a definite farm. Certainly is, the love of his life, even though, that sort of stuff, Anyway, we'll move right along.
Sorry, I think you're thinking about Game of Thrones. This is not Cersei and Jaime, okay? This is Luke and Leia.
I reckon Game of Thrones sort of, just built that whole idea around Luke and Leia, maybe. Who knows? But anyway, it is what it is. Han, certainly, yeah, definitely an option. A character that a lot of people have probably got. There's going to be a few characters that people have pretty solid anyway. Han is a definite possibility. Not a take to the bank for me, for Han. But he's certainly something that would make sense and it fits. So I would say yes, but probably not a definite. I would have Leia as a more definite than Han.
By contrast, if you're going to risk, so we feel a lot more confident about someone like Farm Boy Luke. But if you farm that and we're wrong, then you've got Farm Boy Luke doing not very little in your roster. Han, on the other hand, you farm him and you're wrong. Han's going to be extremely useful. Leia, maybe not so much. I find Leia, between these two, Leia much more likely than Han as well. I'm really hoping that we get Han, because I have been dying to take my Han to Gear 13. I just have not found time to do it as of yet. All right, let's get into the next group. We have got this one. You gave me these. This is gonna hurt.
This is gonna hurt.
You say this. I can't even bring myself to say
this is gonna hurt. Okay, this is gonna hurt. Sit down, take a breath. This one's gonna hurt people. Hoth brothers. Okay, this is the obvious choice for the characters. I know, I'm copying it. I know, I can see the daggers in everyone's eyes watching this right now. I know, people do not like this. But here's a crazy idea. Doesn't mean it's not true, because they're characters that people have not invested in.
The truth doesn't care about your feelings.
You can't handle the truth, all right? It's as simple as that. Look, Hoth boys, again, not take to the bank, but it makes sense. They fought with Luke on Hoth. We know that. Plus, the beauty for CG is, if you haven't done Hoth for a long time, and let's be honest, a lot of the people with these rosters going for characters like this have been doing Geonosian territory battles for some time. People might have them at Gear 11 or Gear 12 at the very, very most, and not even looked at them again. And for that reason, and that reason alone, expect to see him on the requirements list. I'm sorry, give me as much hate as you want, but hey, I'm calling it as it is, man.
I did not even realize that Hoth Rebel Soldier was not a 7-star character for me.
Yeah, I'll leave you with that. Yeah.
I just realized that. I thought I had him as 7 stars. Oh, no.
Yeah.
Level
Don't worry,
84 on Scout. All right.
There could be a pack or two. There could be a pack or two, Cubs, so don't stress.
Yeah.
It's funny because it's true as well. Anyway.
Yeah. Don't bring Top Cash back out. He's not invited back to the video.
No.
Now, of course, there's one more unit remaining for Jedi Luke, or for Jedi Master Luke, and we're predicting that's going to be a ship, and the most likely one that I think you can take to the bank, and this is one I would start farming this immediately, is the Rebel Y-Wing.
Yeah, Rebel Y-Wing, it's new, it's fresh. Not a lot of people have invested a lot more than, 2 or 3 stars in him from the marquee event when he was released. Again, definitely a ship that's going to be required, I believe, for Luke, no doubt. It's an obvious choice because it's a rare ship and it's new.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, let's move on to Eternal Palp. It's worth mentioning that we thought of a curveball for this list for Jedi Luke in particular, and that was maybe Kylo Ren unmasked so that they could mimic that Battle of Crate, which is something I think there's a very likelihood that we see that in the event. But I think Kylo Ren unmasked, he's already been required for a lot. I'd be surprised if we saw that. So
it's a smoky. It's a smoky. Let's call it a smoky. Out of nowhere, they do throw a curveball at us from time to time. So not surprised, but yeah, if that pops up, told you so. If it doesn't, I'll pop it.
We're gonna predict every character in the game, so then we're not wrong.
Yeah, that's right. If we just throw the dartboard at them all, we're a win, right?
Yeah, there we go. We'll just get lots of darts. All right, let's talk about Eternal Sith Lord Palpatine. What Sith Eternal Emperor is what we're calling this. We'll start it with the first group of 4. I'm gonna say I'll give you the first group of 4. We'll talk about them all together. We got Stormtrooper. I think that's very likely. That's one I would take to the bank. We got Imperial Probe Droid. This is another one that I feel like you can potentially take to the bank on that. Grand Admiral Thrawn. High level of confidence on that one as well. He was very, very involved in that. And then we've got Tarkin in that first group of 4 requirements coming out next. What do you think, HYNSEY?
Dead set. Stormtrooper is a definite. Absolute definite. That is a take to the bank out of these 4. That is going to happen for the same reason it is that he's useless. You're not going to use him anytime after this at the moment in his particular layout. So you're going to have to farm him to the eyeballs. So yes, expect that for sure. Tarkin is an absolute definite as well in my mind. Tarkin, he owned the Death Star, man. He ran the thing. It's an obvious fit. So Tarkin, yes, I would say for sure. IPD, I'd say more 75% chance of IPD would be fair. Thrawn probably around the same, maybe 60, 65. But again, all linked to Empire, all fundamental into the running and the administration and the force that was the Empire, so that makes sense.
Yep. Yeah, I would agree. Stormtrooper and Tarkin feel the most likely. Thrawn and then maybe Imperial Probe Droid. I think IPD is going to be required. It just feels like a character that not very many people have farmed and has reasonable connection to Palpatine via the Empire, but maybe not. I mean, they could really go, they may go more of a Sith route with this. I would say when it comes to Palpatine, Luke feels more easy to predict. Palpatine, it kind of depends on what route they go, right, HYNSEY? They could go for more of an Empire route, or they could go for more of a Sith route. But I think we have a clue in which route they're going because they're requiring all Empire characters in this first group. They've got, of course, Royal Guard and Director Krennic and Admiral Piet, who I'm representing with Cup right now, and Darth Vader, who represents both Sith and Empire camps. So I think the Empire route is more likely.
Yeah, look, I think you'll get a bit of both for sure, but yeah, I think they've signified early on that their insistence is that they're going to go heavy with Empire, definitely.
There you go. All right, let's get into the next group of 4. Start with, speaking of, I think this is one you can take to the bank. I mean, this is like, if you want to know somebody to farm right now, it's our boy Darth Sidious. He's going to probably be a Relic 7 requirement. Darth Maul is another one I would say seems pretty decently likely. And then Count Dooku, also some pretty strong connections to the Dark Lord. And then lastly, we've got some more Empire love. Potentially Death Trooper goes along with Director Krennic. What do you think about that group of 4?
Correct. Yeah, absolutely. Sidious, as you said, 100% you'll need him at Relic 7, no doubt. I would highly recommend Sidious. Take him all the way through. I'd like the version that we get in the assault battles. If he was as OP as that guy, I'd be absolutely thrilled. Unfortunately, ours isn't. But if that would be great. Yeah, if we got the challenge to Sidious, please, that would be great. Maul, obviously, yeah, him and Sidious, they had their fun and their dust-ups and the loyalty was there. Obviously, as his apprentice, it makes sense, as Sidious. Of course, Dooku, same thing. You know, again, they were instrumental and fundamental in creating the Empire itself. And obviously everything that came after that, so they certainly do fit. And then, of course, Death Trooper. If you've got Krennic in there, there should be better Death Trooper Krennic synergy in my mind, Cubs. I'm not going to lie. I'd like to see a bit of a tweak. I'd like to see a tweak or a refresh or something, or some sort of an adjustment. Call it a touch-up. Call it whatever the hell you want. I don't care. But I'd like to see better synergy with Krennic and Death Trooper. I think that those two guys there should actually synergize a lot better.
Very well summarized. In summary, out of all of these characters, out of these 8 that we're predicting here, I would say that the 3 that I personally feel the most confident on are Sidious, Maul, and Dooku. I feel very confident about them based on Palpatine's origins and the fact that both Maul and Dooku have been apprentices of Palpatine, and then Sidious, of course, is going to be an earlier iteration of the character, and the way that they've done these Galactic Legends seems to lean towards using all of the original versions of the characters bleeding up into the final version of them. So those are the ones I would take to the bank the most. And then Death Trooper, I feel Death Trooper, I would have a lower confidence interval on if it weren't for Krennic being in there. But we already know Krennic is there, so I feel confident on him. But out of these 3, if you're going to start farming, if you say you've got the top requirements pretty much ready to go, if you're looking to know who to farm next, Dooku might be the one I would go for, because he's so good anyway. You know, if you get it wrong, Dooku is so good to have for territory wars and for Grand Arena that I just want to have him. All right, we've also got one ship that we are predicting, and that is the TIE Bomber. I think that's pretty likely.
Yeah. Again, same thing as the Rebel Y-Wing. I mean, the Imperial TIE Bomber makes sense for a few reasons. It's Empire-based, and it's new. And it's not very heavily farmed. So, again, I think whether we like it or not, and again, shoot me down if you like, guys, but you and I both know that makes 100% sense. Whether we get other capital ships, or whether we need to use, obviously capital ships as well, who knows? But yeah, they're definite ships that I'll be looking at farming and investing in.
Very good summary. Yep, I think that is the variable, is what's new, and that's probably what's going to end up there. You got 2 kids. What makes sense in the lore and what's new? Money, time, and figure out, connect the dots that way. But I feel pretty confident about this list. The only variable we haven't really discussed is the variable of capital ships coming to the game. I personally feel like it's too late, but naturally, if you do see announcements of capital ships that are in this era, then scratch the Rebel Y-Wing and the TIE Bomber. Those are going to be what are needed. But I think for now, Rebel Y-Wing and TIE Bomber are probably going to be the 2 ships that you're going to need to look at for the Galactic Legends. So, HYNSEY, thank you so much for joining me for the video. Anything else you want to throw out there to the Cubs fan before we get on
man,
out of here?
I want to give you some love, actually. I want to give you some congratulations, my boy.
Oh.
Congratulations, Twitch partner extraordinaire. Well done. Not something easy to achieve in any way, shape, or form. Well deserved, my friend. And we'll see you around, obviously, guys, when we shoot the next Rogue Actions, of course. Yep. And don't forget, we've got Gridsy sessions coming up, guys, on Friday night. So come and join us for that as well. And we'll have a couple of quiet ones and cause some mayhem. Love you all.
Do it. Go ahead and check out HYNSEY stuff down in the comments below, or down in the description below. And as always, my brothers, don't forget.